Hey there. If you came across this video and you are doing cold email in 2024, I'm recording this on 23rd of October, then you might have noticed that there are a lot of fluctuations when it comes to cold email deliverability. A lot of things are going to spam. It's harder to land in an inbox and all that stuff. So I created a quick checklist of all the essentials you need to have if you want to keep getting results with cold email and people actually seeing your emails, right? So I have a checklist of a few different things. And at the end of this video, if you make sure that you'll have all of these things in place uh, before you launch your campaign, then I can guarantee you will see much better results compared if you would have done it otherwise. But before I jump into this, I want you to be confident that I'm not pulling any numbers out of thin air, and we are actually getting results for ourselves and our clients. So I'll minimize myself right here and I'll go over a couple of screenshots from our clients. You can pause it, read it. That we are not only booking the meetings, but our clients are also closing the deals. A few replies from our prospects to the emails that we send them. And also some results from our campaigns in terms of like reply rates, open rates, even though we are not tracking open rates that often. You can check all of this. And now, if you still want to keep watching the video, then let's jump back to it. So the first thing that we want to talk about is actually email infrastructure and how you should have it set up. So the way we do it at our agency and for our clients is 40-40-20 split. So we use Gmail, Outlook, and SMTP. So let me explain what it is first of all, right? So when we start our setup, here's how we split it. The first thing that we do, obviously, is we buy the domains. And we usually buy the domains from reliable provider, which is either GoDaddy or Porkbun. Those are the two ones that we use, and they are serving us pretty well. But so when you get the domains, make sure that you don't get them outside of some platforms that are a bit shady just because they're cheaper. You know, I've heard, and like when I was initially starting out, I used to use Namecheap for doing it, but then I noticed that okay, a lot of our emails were landing in spam, and I was just like, okay, let me just change the provider, and our results got better as well, right? So when you're purchasing domains, just make sure that you can get .com extensions because they tend to perform much better compared to any other extensions. But when you got the domains, what you need to do next is you need to create mailboxes under those domains, right? So the way you can do it is you can go with Outlook, you can go with Google, or you can go with private servers. Now, I'm going to go one by one and explain what each is. First, I will touch on Outlook and Google. So the way you can buy them are two ways. You can either go with original setup and buy straight from the source, you know, like just register for Outlook or for Gmail and create mailboxes that way. And you'll be paying realistically either $6 or $7.20, $7.20 for each mailbox. And the way you want to do it is you want to have two mailboxes per one domain and be sending at least like 20 emails per mailbox. Now, we usually start actually much lower to be on a safe side. So sometimes we send 10, 15 emails from each mailbox just to be safe, right? But you can do around 20. And another option, if you decide to go with, because with original setup, what you need to do is you will need to set up all the technical records like SPF, DKIM, DMARC records yourself. I also have a separate video on this technical setup if you want to watch it. But the thing is, it's much more hassle if you decide to go with original route, but the quality might be slightly better compared to reseller, which is, so with a reseller, you get much better pricing. Usually it's at least like 50% cheaper compared to the original setup. And they also, most of the times, depends who you go with, you get much better, much more convenient setup because they do everything on your behalf. And for this reseller, we are using Inboxology, but I've also heard some good stuff about premium inboxes in case you want to try it out. So yeah, just make sure to check it out. And you can get reseller mailboxes like around like $3 per mailbox, which is pretty cheap compared to original setup. And there's no big difference in terms of deliverability. So if the pricing is a bit critical for you, then you can just go with a reseller, right? So now these are to sum up everything about Outlook and Google. It's pretty straightforward. Now, when it gets a bit interesting is when we are talking about the private servers itself, right? Because with the private servers, the way it works is Google or Outlook, they might penalize you for either sending too many emails or sending some sort of like shady emails. They might like block your mailboxes. They might shut down your admin panel. And like if you have, let's say, 20 mailboxes under one admin panel, they might like close them all. So then you have to create a new one. And it's just a much more hassle, right? Now, with the private servers, for example, what we use is usually uh, MailReef is the one that we are using, but there are some other solutions on the market as well that you can try out. But we tested MailReef, and I also know other agency owners who are using MailReef for their private server, and it's working pretty well. So the thing with private servers is they kind of understand that, okay, what you are doing is you are sending cold email, so they are not going to penalize you for that. And the way you can do it is you can have one domain, and with private server, you can have like 5 different mailboxes. And the way private servers work is you can be easily sending, I would say, around basically the same amount that you are sending with Google or Outlook. So you are not sending way too many emails, but it's usually much cheaper compared to the pricing. So let's say if you want to actually scale your sending volume and you have about 50, 60 mailboxes, private servers usually are a cheaper solution compared to the original setup. And you can like diversify your sending across different mailboxes. So that's something that you cannot really do. Well, technically you can do with Google or Outlook, but they're just going to be much more pain in the ass because when you set up like different mailboxes and you're kind of sending the similar message from different mailboxes, you're going to get flagged. So with the private servers, it's much easier. You get also your own dedicated server. So that's one of the most important things, because on Google, you're basically joining a pool of other senders. So if like there are some other people who are sending unsolicited, like pretty spammy emails, that might hurt your IP address as well, because we've had cases where we've set up Outlook and all of our emails were not even getting delivered because we were placed on a low status IP server. And yeah, basically other providers were just rejecting our message from the get-go. With private servers, you don't get that because you have your own dedicated server, and your mailbox longevity is much higher compared to these two, right? So I know this might sound a bit complex, but if you're just starting out and if you want to do it for yourself, I suggest you, for the most part, you can do like Outlook, Google, and a reseller if you want to pay less and also have somebody else do it for you. But otherwise, if you want to scale your volume and this is a bit more advanced, you can like sneak in a few private server like mailboxes as well, right? Now, obviously, this is not all. This is just well, pretty important aspect of the whole deliverability. But besides this, like what we covered right here is the first thing. So, right now, what we need to do next is have a syntax our copy, because in the past, if you've been sending emails and if you're sending the same copy over and over again, providers can catch up that, okay, this guy is sending cold emails, so they're basically spamming and you will get punished for it, right? So what we need to do, we need to actually make sure that, okay, email providers, either Google or Outlook, can tell that we are sending the same message over again, and we are going to syntax our copy. Now, what syntax does, it just changes up the formation of your emails, of your copy, so it looks natural and different every single time. Now, for you to understand what I mean is I'm going to use a Syntaxer AI for this. So let's say in a subject line, we write any questions, first name, and in copy, let's do hi, first name, first name. Notice you were interested in getting sales for your store. Sorry. Can I send over a quick video on how we can help you with that? Okay, so right now I'm just writing a very basic copy. Like this is not a good copy. I'm just trying to show you it for example. So best regards, Geo training founder at Convert. Right now, you can just syntax this to change the information as I told you. But what they also have, this is a new feature. So optimize copy to bypass spam filters. So in a copy, you'll have some words that might trigger spam warnings. So for example, sales is one of those. So what you can do, you can click on this, and basically what you are paying for this is about like 50 cents per copy, which is well, pretty cheap if you ask me. And then you click on syntax. It might take some time. And well, there was also a Chat GPT prompt, like it was called Spintax Baby, that used to Spintax your copy for free, but it was not as efficient as this is right here because I'll show you how many variations we'll get right here. It might take some time. I might copy I might post this for a while. Just a second. Okay, so we have an output for this one. So as you can see, how many variations we have here. Okay, in a greeting, obviously we have just hey, hi, hello, hey. But here you can see all the different variations and the structures we have to make our copy more natural and less detectable for Google and Outlook. Now, obviously, there are a few things that you might want to um, add it yourself. Give it a just a checkup because as you can see, some of the things like for example, founder, creator, establisher at Convert. Well, I would change this to CEO and owner, right? Because like this is done by AI, and obviously there will be some outputs that might not be as accurate as you would have to write it by hand. But obviously, this is such a big win if you can make your every single email look different from the other. Then you're going to have much higher chances of landing in the inbox compared to other way. So this is about the syntax. And one thing that I did not mention, like besides syntax, if you are using AI in your copy, like Clay that I'm going to discuss right now, with Clay, if you can generate a unique, like for example, first liner that is unique for every single prospect, that's also going to do so much work for you. So, but in this case, with Clay, what I'm going to talk about is laser focused targeting, how to actually build the list of the prospects who are within your ICP and you're not emailing anybody who might find it irrelevant or mark you as spam. So what we do is I'm going to go to Clay and how it works if you haven't heard about it yet. It's basically an Excel sheet that allows you to integrate all the different tools into one table and helps you perform like different workflows. So in this case, what we did is the Clay has their own agent, which is called Claygent. And what it does, it's basically open AI. You give the prompt and it does what you tell it. So in this case, what it told is I have a list of staffing industries, staffing companies. And as you can see, what I did in the model, I chose 4.0 Mini because it's the cheapest version to do tasks like this. And also, what I ask it to do is visit the company website, and I map out the website column right here. And determine whether the company has anything related to staffing, outsourcing, recruiting, executive search, etc. And output how confident you are on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident and 10 being the most. And also, please be attentive to detail when completing the task, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to guilt trip it to perform a better job. And output numbers and nothing else. And this is what I get. Usually, I have filtered out the numbers only like 8 and above. And if you click on each one, you can see their reasoning why AI thinks that, okay, this company belongs to this industry. And one more thing, like why I'm actually doing it in the first place is because if you're using Apollo or any other big, like even LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Listkit, whatever it is, like no data provider can give you 100% accurate data because there will be some industries that just sneak in and usually don't have anything to do with actual industry that you wanted to have on your list. So doing this will remove all unnecessary companies and will make sure that you're not reaching out to somebody. So for example, if you have a list of e-commerce stores, right? If you want to build a list of e-commerce stores, you might have some other marketing agencies that are helping e-commerce stores, and if you reach out to them with your offer, which is targeted towards e-commerce stores, and a marketing agency gets that, then you know that it will be relevant and most likely you'll be marked as spam, right? So what you do with this is you just exclude any irrelevant leads from your file. So once we have this figured out, we can cancel this as well. Now, one more thing is ESP targeting. ESP stands for email service provider. And the reason I'm talking about this is at the time of recording this video, Outlook is going nuts. It's basically shitting the bed because no matter what email you will send to Outlook, it will land in spam. Even some personal emails or non-cold emails, like regular emails, are landing in spam with Outlook. So what we want, obviously, if you keep emailing Outlook, you're just wasting your time, money, and your sending limit on contacting people who are never going to see your message, unless they're daily checking their spam folder, right? So what we do for this is we are just removing Outlook mailboxes from our prospecting list as a whole, at least for now. But I mean, we can reuse them in the future. But as for now, we are not targeting them. So how we do it is using Email Guard. And if you come to email host lookup, you can see what we have right here. So what you basically do, you just upload your CSV file of leads, right? And then it will give you, let me just download this and show you what I'm talking about. I'm not sure whether I'm recording my entire screen or not, but if I am, and if you can see this, here you can see email service provider, and it says whether it's Google, Outlook, whether it's custom mail server, whatever it is. And what you'll do, you just filter Outlook once and remove it from your list. And that's it, right? Then you'll have the list of only the list of emails that you know, okay, you have a chance of landing in the inbox and you're not going to spam 100%. So that's what you're going to do. At least for now, you know, in the future things might change, so you might not need to do this, but at least for now you need. And spam monitoring is obviously pretty crucial thing. You want to monitor how your mailboxes are performing, whether you are landing in spam, inbox, whatever it is. So we are using SmartLead as our sending tool, and they recently released this feature, which is called Smart Delivery. And you can determine whether your emails are going to spam or not. So they're basically sending test emails to Outlook, to Gmail, and you can then show you the results that you're getting. So for example, let me just show you. So here are some, basically they're doing this every single day. And let's say for like this one, October 15th, when we click on this, you can see that our stats are, let me show you, like, okay, this inbox, this went to promotion tab, this went to spam, and this is pending. But if you look at this, like this is what I did, right? So on a personal ones, okay, we were landing in spam because like my mailboxes were burnt out, but we want to focus on professional emails because you're doing B2B outreach to other decision makers and companies. And if we look at this, like this is how I figured out that, okay, there was something going on with the Outlook, because in G Suite, we were landing like 92% in the inbox and some in a promotion folder. In Outlook, we were landing 99%, 53, like almost 100% in spam, right? So you can tell that when something like this is happening, most likely it's not a mailbox issue because, okay, if you're landing like 92% inbox and with Gmail and you're landing 99% in spam with Outlook, you know, there's something fishy going on and you have to research this matter further. So if you keep doing this every like 2 weeks, every 1 month, you can determine what is the health of your mailboxes, how they're performing, and whether it's time for you to replace them or you can continue sending with those mailboxes, right? So like once we got these results, instead of just changing the mailboxes, what we just did is we used Email Guard, like the step that I showed you before this, and we removed all the Outlook emails from our prospecting list, and that was it. Our reply rate and engagement rate improved immediately once we have excluded these emails. So like this is the entire list that I wanted to talk about that we've covered. So you want to make sure that, just to sum everything up, you want to make sure that you have a split between different mailboxes. You have Gmail, you have Outlook, you have SMTP, because as you can tell, today Google releases update, tomorrow it's Outlook. So it keeps fluctuating, and for you not to have any downtimes and your cold email campaigns to remain consistent, you need to have a different split, because just in case one of them tanks, you have another one that balances it out, right? Then obviously you want to syntax your copy with Spintaxer AI, just to make sure that your every copy that you send out is different from the other. You want to laser focus targeting with Clayagent to remove any irrelevant leads from your list. You want to, as of right now, don't know in the future, you want to remove all the Outlook mailboxes from your list as well. And you want to monitor for spam every 2 weeks or every 1 month to check on the health of your mailboxes, right? So that was it. That's what we are doing at our agency and for our clients. So if you're interested in us doing the same for you, just book a call with a link in the description. But if you just like the video, then I would appreciate if you like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you want to see anything else. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.